and the homie Trysta Krick here. Trysta, what's happening?
What's good, fellas?
Everything, because I learned this morning that you and I share a mutual distaste for somebody. So now that Trysta's with us, let's go ahead and run Brian Kelly's brand new accent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Well, this is a great way to get started. And I haven't even won all my games yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family.
There it is.
And we are so excited to be in the great state of Louisiana, but more importantly,
my man from Southern Massachusetts.
Look, he snuck a couple other ones in there too that I didn't hear the first time. It's a great way to get started.
Oh yeah.
I haven't even won all my games yet.
You know what it sounds like? Like he spent his whole life making fun of Southern accents, and all of a sudden he got in front of a bunch of Southern people, and it kind of slipped out. And he was like Carl Lewis during the national anthem. I'm gonna make up for it right now. Goodness.
Have you ever spent time with people who don't sound anything like you, and then all of a sudden they start to sound like you because they think that's what they're supposed to do? They're like, that's him right now. He's in the bayou. He's so far out of his depth. He's going to get dragged. Listen, LSU, that fan base is tough, boy. Man, I'm an Oregon Duck, and we played LSU in the first game of the year, and they were dragging around dead ducks, like dead real ducks.
Oh, my God.
On the road, on the street. And they were like, tiger bait. Y'all ducks just tiger bait. And I'm like, yo, I am done with this. And that is what Brian Kelly is going to be dragged all through the road. He's going to be tiger bait in about 2.5 years when he gets.
Well, I'll say this, Trysta. I will say this. I don't like the guy. I don't think anybody on this interview here likes the guy. Wins football games. And Notre Dame, they brought in Weiss, Ty Willingham. They couldn't get nothing done. And he went in there and got it done. He got Cincinnati done. I think he's going to do fine at LSU.
Different animal now.
I think, but a guy like that, like he was doing all this in Cincinnati and in Notre Dame, where you can't get nobody to come there. Now he's down there in Louisiana. I think he's going to do well. I don't like him, but I think
go ahead, KC. I'll hit the music for you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Save him. That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead. Rock with your boy Brian Kelly. That's cool. No, that's cool.
The media twist my words up. Okay?
No, we heard it. Trista heard it.
I did. I mean, he is known for these easy schedules. I have made a lot of Notre Dame fans very angry because you know that Notre Dame's that team that we all know because they are the chosen one. Legitimately, belief by God that they are the chosen team and they can just not have to go to any divisional a championship game, nothing, right? Conference championship. And it's like, okay, and then they find a real opponent and they lose. That's just what they do. Notre Dame gets to the big moment and then they let down. That's what they do no matter what. And Brian Kelly is no stranger to that. And now he's in the big boy conference.
Let me ask you a question, Trysta. I talked to Damien. I think Damien agreed with me on this one. LSU's the better job than Notre Dame, right?
LSU is the more high-profile job than Notre Dame. But I think Notre Dame is the more tenure job. You can get fired at LSU. I think with Notre Dame, he could have stayed there forever.
But I don't think he could ever win at Notre Dame.
I don't think he can win at LSU.
He might not be good enough to win at LSU.
Right.
You can win at LSU though. I don't think you can win at Notre Dame. Notre Dame can't get the people to compete with Alabama, Clemson, all those other guys. So I don't think you can win at Notre Dame.
The talent pool will be better recruiting to the Bayou than it will be for a place like Notre Dame for sure. But I don't know if he's the guy. I wouldn't want him to coach my team.
What'll be really fun is is rooting for LSU to fail all year around, because I can go from rooting against Brian Kelly right into rooting against Kim Mulkey and just be a happy hater like all year long there with my distaste for everyone at LSU.
Comments got you. Her COVID comments got you.
I've never been the biggest Kim Mulkey fan.
Right. Her players love her though.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
I interviewed Dee Dee, and Dee Dee like rides for her, so it's hard for me.
She's a unique personality.
Yeah,
I learned a lot about the Brittany Griner stuff, and that always just kind of was cringeworthy to me. Plus, she comes across as fake.
A little fake. Yeah, she does. She comes across as, how would I put this? As like leaning into her brashness while also not really being herself.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect. I mean? That's perfect.
And it's like, wait, I know you don't think that this is like the best look and the best image, but it's also not you. So I don't really know what like Manchurian Candidate is going on here. Like, who's pulling the strings? And she wins, man. Like Baylor was a winning program, and you know, I'm not looking forward to LSU women's being a winning program. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know her well enough to say. I do know she got cooked by some people that I know really well in the media. I think Mike Wilbon cooked her too.
Now, look here. I'm gonna tell both y'all. I know you don't like Brian Kelly. I know you don't like Kim Mulkey, but I'm gonna tell you, you're not gonna be going around here talking about my people down there in the bayou. I got love for my people down there. Go Tigers, and we got love for them. They're gonna do a good job. I don't like them. It's not like I like them like I like Michigan. All right, but I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna do a good job. Now, let me tell you about this punter they got out of the portal. This is a bad boy.
When are we going to talk about your Kangs? What's happening?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. A few things have changed since the last time you were with us.
It was like poof, into the ether. Gone he goes. Ding dong. Luke Walton, the second most winningest coach in Kings history, is gone.
Yeah, that's true.
See, the biggest thing. So, Trysta, the thing about it, though, I will ask you this, is I've always said I'm in a minority. I don't really know if Luke Walton is a good coach or a bad coach. I lean towards bad. But what I saw was a group of guys in the Sacramento Kings team that were soft, that quit, and they weren't playing, in my opinion, with the personal pride they needed to turn this thing around. And you saw that as soon as Luke was gone, where they end up losing to the Sixers G League team. And then they get beat down by Memphis. And after having this triple overtime went, like there's a lack of consistency that is with this group that's been here through Jaeger, Vlade, Luke, and now it looks like it's still here. Hopefully it's not, but I think this group of players has been just as much, if not more of an issue than Luke Walton.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Like, it's interesting to me because I talked about it on the podcast yesterday, and it's odd how often I end up talking about the Sacramento Kings on an NBA podcast because they're not really relevant, but they are so much fun to kind of to troll, I guess, like to come after or to dissect. But like, I think losing environments attract and create or morph winning players into losers. When it's I think a culture of losing turns into a magnet for more losing and more losers. And so, you know, when you want to go into like human psychology, I think it's very easy to not try when the going gets tough and everyone around you is not trying. And I don't know who, I mean, you guys are there all the time. You guys are on this beat. I don't know who the leader, probably Davion. Like Davion's probably the only one who's not going to put up with that BS. Like, I think he's the
Rashawn Holmes too.
Rashawn. Oh yeah. And I like Rashawn a lot. Outside of those two, I don't know. I'm not really sure in terms of like how much extra effort they're going to put in when they get punched into the mouth and how you fix that, whether that's the organization leadership from ownership down, like it rots from the top, whether you need to clean house, bring in new people. I don't know, but you see how fast the Phoenix Suns, and I'm not saying it's the same organization, but it was a very dysfunctional organization for a very long time. And now they're contenders in a matter of 4 years from when they were the worst team in the league. Like, I talked to DeAndre Ayton, I want to say the draft before, after his rookie season. And I asked him about Phoenix. And he was like, if I was a Phoenix Suns fan, I would say, we suck. We are awful. We are the worst. And for your franchise player to say that, and I know Devin has like mimicked some of those same sentiments when they were in that losing culture, you really have to find someone to turn things around. And that was like what happened, I think, throughout time. And obviously Chris Paul made a big difference. So I think they can turn things around, but I just don't know who will be the leader to do that.
What was the catalyst, in your opinion, behind the turnaround for Phoenix? Was it Monty or was it Chris?
I think it was James Jones. I think James Jones coming in, and then him, Monty obviously could have chosen the Lakers. At that point in time, the Lakers job.
He could have chosen the Kings if he was actually interviewed, but Luke Walton for life. So sorry, Trysta, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. So you've got, I think James Jones has made a bunch of really good decisions in terms of flipping players and creating a roster that fits together, choosing the right coach. Monty Williams deciding to take that job. God knows why. Like, God knows why at that time he did. He was obviously the right fit. And then that turned into James Jones and Monty Williams. And of course, Chris Paul deciding that he wanted to play with Book, because Book has a lot of that same mentality. So probably it comes down also from Book's, like the dog in Book, that people didn't really want to give him credit for, because if it wasn't from Book, CP wouldn't be there. And I don't think that they would be the team that they are now. Like, they'd probably be like a 6 seed, 7 seed.
They wouldn't be that. They were terrible with Book.
No, I mean, so you saw.
I love Devin Booker. I love him.
No, I'm saying, like, you saw them in the bubble. They went 8 wins and 0, right? Like, they didn't lose in the bubble. I think that they could have even without Chris Paul, be a better team than they were the year before, because DA was popped for whatever, like performance enhancing, whatever. Yeah. So like, he was gone, 25 games. So that really put them behind the 8 ball really early. So I think they were already taking steps to be a good team, but they wouldn't be nearly obviously as good as they are without Chris Paul. And I think he's instilled a lot of dog in them.
Who do you got tonight?
Man, I don't want to take that game. I don't want to take that game because Steph was drunk. Like, he played awful in Phoenix. Like, he was 20% from the field. There was no one stopping DeAndre Ayton. I don't know how that changes. They're blitzing Steph. They committed 23 turnovers. Now Devin's not playing in this game. And now the Golden State Warriors are 7-point favorites at Chase. Man, yikes. I want no part of that.
All right, coward. Thanks for joining us.
I mean, 7 is a lot. 7 is a lot of points, but there's so many factors, no Book. I think the Warriors should have re-signed JaVale McGee. Like, I think that would have been a really good move, especially with, they don't really, and miss me with James Wiseman's going to, shut DeAndre Ayton down when he comes back. He was in deer in headlights last year.
DeAndre Ayton, he doesn't need to be shut down.
No.
They don't even give him the ball. DeAndre Ayton is cool. He's great, but he gets he's like the 5th option on that team.
Yeah, and I think what he does is he opens up Dev and CP3 to be who they are, right? Like, he sets really great screens. He rolls hard to the rim. He gets rebounds. He gets putbacks. He does the dirty work. He defends. And that's what he should do instead of trying to be like Joel Embiid. And so that actually was obviously Monty Williams turning things around as well with him. But, I think that it's tough when you've got Kevon Looney and you've got Draymond trying to get boards when you've got a legit 7-footer in there, getting them above you. So, yeah, I think that's difficult. But, no, I don't want to bet that game. I just want to watch it and eat popcorn.
There you go. That's what we'll be doing. Popcorn and McQueen. That's how we're riding today.
Yes, indeed. Trysta, let me real quick, because the NBA basketball can be pretty depressing around here sometimes.
Yeah.
NFL football is a little exciting around here at times. It's Niner country over here, right?
Oh,
one of the hottest teams in football right now. Won 4 of their last 5. Dealing with some injuries. Debo, Fred Warner looked to be out, but they're going up against the Seahawks team That is a bottom 5 team in the NFL right now.
Right.
I think the Niners are 3-point favorites.
I think I saw 3.5 up to.
Okay, 3.5, 3.5. Well, where would you lean in this one on Sunday?
Man, I don't like this game. I don't think San Francisco's good, but I know Seattle's not good. One team though, like this is how I know that the Niners aren't going anywhere. Because Colin Cowherd came out and said that they were like a dark horse.
I roll with that line of thinking. That's good stuff.
Like, they beat the Vikings, and now we're kind of putting them as a dark horse. But the Vikings are the most inconsistent team in the NFL. Like,
I'm gonna push back. They beat the hell out of the Rams. Everybody's Super Bowl favorite.
But the Rams are low-key trash too.
Oh, now they trash. They were unbeatable. That
low-key trash. Low-key trash, not the same. Trash, low-key trash, not the same.
They are 1-4 against teams with winning records this year. They are 1-4. That's not a great team. This is a 500 team that has beaten up on sub-500 teams, which they should. Okay, so they beat the Rams, but the Rams don't have really a run game. And that makes Stafford more predictable. And then you can just go out and play nickel against them. They picked Stafford off twice because they never had to worry about the run. And when Jimmy Garoppolo does not have to throw the ball, then they win. They slash the Rams on the ground. That's their recipe for success. I don't think that's necessarily a signature win because I think that the Rams are a one-dimensional team, and now they're even less dimensional, losing out on Robert Woods. They're a star-driven league. They're a star-driven team, And I don't know if we can really say, given that the Rams have not won a game in the month of November, that they're a very good team either.
Okay.
Low-key trash.
I just know what was put out there in September. That's all I know.
There's a lot of things
about the Rams in September. It wasn't low-key trash. It wasn't that. But now they lose to the Niners. Low-key trash. I'm just saying.
I think that they've been low-key trash this entire month of November. They've been disappointing, right? Like, they have not looked good. They still have the second best odds for the Super Bowl, and I don't know why. Like, I think that the Rams are a fine team.
You know who I think is low-key trash? The Buccaneers.
Yeah, the Buccaneers are a hobbled team that has had issues on the offensive side, losing out on AB, losing Gronk. I think Gronk's really important for that team. They don't run the ball particularly consistently. They give the ball to Lenny sometimes, give the ball to Rojo sometimes. Levante David was out. So, yeah, I think that the Bucs have been very disappointing. But the difference between the Rams and the Bucs is Tom Brady. Like, I do not trust Matt Stafford on a huge moment, and I do trust Tom Brady in a huge moment. And I think as time goes on, and there's been, like, they didn't look good last year, the Bucs, and they won it all. Like, they come around at the right time, they win games, and then we want to crown them the next September. And as you said, like, things that get predicted in September don't always happen in January, February.
That's true.
Trysta, you're the best, man. Enjoy the game and the popcorn tonight.
You're my favorite. You're Q's favorite too.
Tell Q we miss him, man. Tell Q we miss him.
Both guys on at the same time.
I know, we need to do it too.
Yeah, we love that we got you in here each week. So thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next Friday.
See you next Friday, guys.